So you're listening to WNTH 8.1 FM in Winnetka. This is our interview with Will Butler of Arcade Fire. So Will, as you now know, we are high school students who are heavily influenced by your music. We just want to know, to start off, what were you influenced by in high school, or what were you into, or what kind of music were you listening to?
I mean, that was kind of when I started listening to rock and roll. I mean, I was kind of listening to classical music before high school. And then my brother listened to a lot of The Cure and the Smiths, so I listened to a lot of that. And then when I was in high school, OK Computer came out when I was 16 or something.
Radiohead.
And then Kid A came out my senior year.
Prime.
So, and I think Homogenic came out in 1998 as well.
Nice.
So it was kind of Homogenic and Radiohead and kind of 80s new wave British bands. So a lot of that.
Little Talking Heads, maybe?
Maybe Little Talking Heads.
Not a ton, though. Yeah. That was when I first saw the film Stop Making Sense, which is like my favorite film.
God,
but I actually didn't know the Talking Heads that well, but I really loved that movie.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Great.
Yeah.
Should we go to the next one?
Next one.
So we know that you went to Northwestern. We all live within 5 minutes of the campus, so we're really, really excited to do this. And we know that you were involved with radio there.
Yeah.
So what was your experience like, and what did you really enjoy doing there?
You're talking about WNUR, 89.3 FM. That was in Chicago.
Nice.
Yeah, we still remembers it.
No, it's a really great radio station, and it's all student run.
Yeah.
And you would have a meeting every Monday night, and one of the senior members, one of the students would. You would have a lecture from one of the students every Monday night, and one Monday it would be New York in the 70s. So you do the Ramones and the Talking Heads and the Velvet, late Velvet Underground. You do New York in the 70s, Patti Smith and all that, or you would do krautrock, 70s German experimental rock would be another topic, or you would do American minimalism, and you would do Terry Riley and Steve Reich and all that. You would, and it was a very broad. The rock format was very broad. It was modern classical music and jazz music and rock and roll. Kind of not a ton of modern independent music. The modern independent music we played was really small. We wouldn't, by the time Funeral came out, we wouldn't have been played on it. We would have been too big for NUR at that point. But a lot of really great weirdo bands and a lot of great electronica and stuff like that. So it was very broad and very educational. A good curriculum.
Yeah. Did you have your own show, or did you just...
So you DJed?
Yeah, I DJed. Yeah. I think I maybe DJed every semester, because the show, the rock block was from 2 to 9:30, so there was a 2 to 4 slot, a 4 to 6:30 slot, and then a 6:30 to 9:30. No, in the afternoons and evenings.
Prime time.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. So the early afternoon was the more junior, and then the older you got, the later you would get. So then you'd have a 6:30 to 9:30 slot, and there's always what was called the 8 o'clock break. So from 8 to 9, you would do an hour programming of not just random. You would have to actually create a program. I mean, you could do an hour on ESG and play every ESG track and kind of talk about New York in the 80s, or you could do an hour on, Czech rock and roll under communism, and you would just play all these bands for an hour. You would do a really focused hour, or you would do an hour on just an album, and you would play the whole album for the hour and kind of talk about the album. So
Awesome.
It's good.
Great.
So did you have any fond memories of Evanston? Do you have any favorite spots you like to go
Haunts?
My old haunts.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise. I believe the Sherman restaurant is closed, but
Dave's Italian Kitchen.
yeah, Dave's. That was where my parents would take me.
Yes.
It's a good family.
Lately, what's the new burger? It's Enzo's or
Enzo's.
Yeah, I mean that's after my time, but
Yeah.
I had a very good burger at Enzo's.
Yeah.
After the fact.
Very good.
And
Yeah.
there's all the different. There's a lot of different noodle places, and what's the Middle Eastern place? Mount Olive or
I think it is Mount Olive.
Olive Mount. Anyway, there was a Middle Eastern place that was
Nice.
always up there.
Delicious.
Nice.
Like
poetry.
Oh yeah. Okay, so you studied poetry, correct?
Yeah.
So I really like poetry as well. So what I guess were some of your favorite poets, or whose work were you really interested in?
I mean, Northwestern has a great poetry program.
Right.
I like old-timey stuff generally. There's a great poet named George Herbert, like come from the 1500s, who has many poems called Love, but normally it's called Love 3 because it's his third love poem. It's really good.
Okay, cool.
Love bade me enter, yet my soul drew back, guilty of dust and sin. But quick-eyed love, observing me go slack from that first entrance into new coat. Anyway, that's really good. And
Beautiful.
Coleridge, Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner is always my jam. I'm reading a lot of Yeats right now. Yeats is really inspiring because I feel like modern poetry and modern lyrics, you kind of like, there's a lot of, you kind of go from the gut initially and then you shape what comes out of your gut.
Like slam poetry, or?
No, just like when you do lyrics, you often sing nonsense words and then you find a word that resonates and then you kind of build a song around that word. I feel like is the modern lyrical method. But Yeats would start with a prose summary of what he wanted to write the poem about, and then he would pick the words, the keywords, and like the rhymes he wanted to make, and then the structure, and then would just like build the poem that way. It was just like not, and it wasn't just like intuitive, get it out there. It was like really like chiseling it out of the rock. And he got better and better. I mean, his best poems were when he was like in his 70s, which is also inspiring, as opposed to the best poems in your 20s and then burn out and die.
Nice. All right, so this is like what, the third show of the Reflector Tour.
This is the second
wow.
show. Yeah.
Right.
That's exciting.
Very excited. Obviously very excited. We flew all the way here, but the reason actually behind that is that when you come to Chicago, we're already gone for college.
Oh,
first. Yeah.
That's crazy.
It was like literally when you announce the tour, we look online, oh my gosh, and we go, August 26th, all right, let's do it, get tickets. And then we realized, we're not going to live here anymore.
You gotta go to Northwestern. It doesn't start till like mid-September.
That's true.
But
Quarter system or the
My
block
brother goes
system?
there.
no, you gotta get out. But if you grew up on the road, you gotta get out.
Yeah, it's a great place, but not when that's where all your 6th grade memories lie.
Right. You
know
don't
what
want
I
to see
mean?
mom and dad in downtown
No. I support spreading your wings.
Yeah, but so this tour means a lot to us, obviously, and it's cool to be here, and we're really excited. What are some things that you're excited about for this tour? Like, what should we expect, or what? I don't know. What do you?
I mean, we're very good at the music. We're kind of better at playing the music than we've ever been, just because we've done it so much that, and we've actually become good musicians. Whereas before, it was more punk rock. I'm not saying it's better in that the show is better, but the musicianship is of a higher caliber, for better or worse. Maybe that's worse for the show. But no, we're good at playing the songs. But this is kind of the first tour where we've experimented with larger production elements. Like there's a lot more lights and video and moving parts to the set, which is new to us, which is really exciting and really fun. Our show designer is this guy Rich Stembridge, who's done video for us forever, and he's done a really good job, and it's really interesting to see how all that stuff will play out.
And you guys just did to introduce the album, kind of Here Comes the Nighttime, the special with Roman Coppola.
Yeah.
What was that like? That was just a brilliant idea to me, and it was very like stop making sense, which is awesome. But like nothing. I mean, there's a big suit, and then there's a giant carnival in Montreal. But what kind of came with the inspiration of that, and how was that whole little string of small shows? What was that like for you guys?
I mean, that special was really about doing something off the cuff and really light and not thought through too much, because our albums are all so thought through and so like analyzed, and so like we just work them to death. And this was just really like, let's just do this, throw this against the wall, let's do this. And it was a bit more slapdash, which I think was a good introduction to the world of the album, to have it be like a weirdo in a bunny suit and just really weird jokes and a centaur on screen for like 3/4 of a second. It felt like an appropriate it to me it makes the album more fun and palatable, because the album can be heavy, which is fine. I mean, it's fine to be heavy. It's fine to be Disintegration, but it's also fun to approach that from a really off the cuff, like more improvisational atmosphere. So,
Definitely.
yeah.
And I think like you guys like trying to have fun with your fans. It's what makes your fans love you so much. And we don't want to take too much of your time, but like I just wanted to thank you for
personally.
If you I don't know if you remember 2010 Lollapalooza set. Huge set. That was like the first big concert I went to, like mom on my side, like going into freshman year of high school, like not just like going into it and being blown away, like blown away. And then something I've just like bucket list tell one of you guys. I don't know if you know this, but you were the last set, so everyone kind of like this huge 10,000 person crowd just like floods the streets of Chicago, which makes it so beautiful. But you guys had already left the stage. Lollapalooza was kicked out. Everyone was like flooding to their cars, like shoulder to shoulder, and then everyone just starts singing like the O's of Wake Up, and just like it fills the streets. And I was just this little puny kid who like barely went through puberty, just like looking up at the skyscrapers, thinking like, this is music, like this is it. And just that was like the most influential music experience of my life. So just
awesome.
like, thank you for that. I don't know if you're aware of that happening, but
I remember that being a really strong show. And the Lollapalooza before your time was also that was the hot, dry Lollapalooza, and this was a slightly muddier Lollapalooza.
A lot of mud.
And it was that was when we realized, we were like, oh snap, this is next level, because it was just like the crowd was just super overpowering in a really amazing way. That was the first big show of that tour where we were like, okay, like I guess we can do this, because that was crazy.
Yeah, definitely.
That's cool. That's cool you were there.
Yeah, very very glad I was. and then I took this lady to the first the next one on that tour, and that was like our first time
our friendship.
Yeah.
So.
That was the UIC show.
Yeah. UIC.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So just
Thank you.
There's the Parthenon Greek place down by UIC was my jam.
Oh yeah,
it's good.
Greek food.
Yeah.
Greek people.
Yeah.
Excellent yogurt.
Yeah.
Really.
The yogurt with the honey and the almond.
Oh heck
Yeah,
yeah, that's my
Excellent. I'm
jam.
just tossing it out there.
So you're a fan of Chicago?
Yeah, very
Nice.
much. So my wife's from St. Louis, and so after she graduated, she lived in Andersonville for a long time. So I hung out in kind of the north side for a long time, and then all her siblings are there. They kind of live mostly on the north side of Chicago. So
Very cool.
that's
Represent.
yeah.
Well, thank you so much for meeting with us.
Yeah,
It means
my
a lot. You're listening to WNTH Radio 88.1 FM. This has been our interview with Will Butler of Arcade Fire.
Yay!
Congratulations on the Oscar nom, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Love that movie. Really
shucks.
beautiful.
Her was my favorite movie of
cool.
the year. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. All right, well, just thank you. Have a great show.
Thank you.
We're excited to see it.
We're very excited, more than anything.